we do personal development, aligned
Mm-hmm.
living work, some other work that
Mm-hmm.
raises that consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
At the time of passing,
Mm-hmm.
what happens to that consciousness? Do you think? Is it going up, down? Is it staying the same? Like what I guess the question I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
articulate is how does the development in this body
Mm-hmm.
with the consciousness affect post post out of the body consciousness?
Yeah,
What does it
yeah,
look like?
yeah, yeah. That's a great question, and it's interesting because I mean, a few things are showing up from different elements of it. Like one of it is, that so much of that consciousness, when we're in human form, we don't have access to, right? That we haven't developed our humanness in a way where we're not caught up in these ruminations and in these distractions, and so so much of the world, this 3D world, is about distractions and emotions that pull us into some sort of a knot and sideways and get us distracted and so far from who we truly are. And so what happens when we're doing that is our awareness of that soul self, of that higher consciousness, isn't in our body. And so it's fascinating to me whenever I've worked with people and say they've had a rough relationship with a parent and that parent's passed. And when that parent comes in, they're not the same experience. They're not the same person really, because when we're in our human body, those distractions, those stories that we get caught up in, dumb us down. They give us perspectives that don't allow our truest selves to shine through. And they get overlaid with this heaviness and this restriction and this non-expression of truth and this non-expression of connection. And so it's been fascinating to me to watch the experience for clients when they feel a past loved one come in that they had a rough relationship with, and all of a sudden this father that could never be loving shows up in a loving way. This father that never could be understanding or appreciative shows up in an understanding and appreciative way. And that's like the trappings of being in the human body. When we don't work through it, when we don't resolve our unresolved shit, when we don't work through our traumas that we all have, we don't get to experience that part of our soul, that part of our who we are while we're alive, because there's all this overlay. And so the experience of what it's like to connect with a loved one who's passed, who had so much overlay that we never really got to see them. We just saw their coping mechanisms and the way they struggled in the world and the way they struggled in relationships. It's
Yeah.
bizarre. And it's so healing because we go, God, it was never about their love for me. It was never about the connection. It was about their unresolved stuff. And we make it about ourselves. It's always so personal.